Hey. Rachel coming down, and you know I flow. Coming for the motherfucking H-Town, ho. No. What's up, y'all? I'm Rachel with TRILLVO. We're here in Dallas, Texas today with that boy QUIX, and he just rocked Wobbleland. So how you feel about Dallas? How was the show?
It's so hot here. We're sweating out here. We're, yeah, it's good. It's very hot. It's nice.
This is fine.
Dallas is one of my favorite places. In general, Texas is one of my favorite places, but Dallas is... It's like there's like a special place in my heart for Dallas. Like the people who go really hard, people who come out, they buy tickets, the people who come out and show their support for like not only just like music in general, but local music. People like pushing the local scene here is like crazy. There's so many like awesome artists here in Dallas that are local, that are like not only just doing their thing here. Oh man, I can't say his name completely because I don't know the phrasing of it, but it's like 1788L.
1788L.
1788. Yeah. Is my boy. He is actually like he's one of my boys. Him specifically, a bunch of other cats that are like really doing well. But yeah, I love Dallas.
So speaking of shows that you played recently in like Logan Dallas, what are some of your favorite shows that you played and why?
Look, playing the big festivals are fun because it's so many people. There's production, there's pyro, there's CO2, there's confetti, there's like so many good moments. But then like playing the small clubs, playing the intimate things, the intimate times where like people can grab your USB stick out of the thing if they want. People could like backspin your tracks for you if they wanted. Those are cool because you literally like have this like heart to heart connection with like your fans right in front of you, and I really love that. So like I've played a lot of shows, but the specific ones are like, you know, the intimate ones, and obviously the big ones are fun because they're like, put your hands up, and then all of a sudden there's like 5,000 hands that go up, and you're like, okay, this is pretty cool, you know.
So how long have you actually been producing for?
Since I was like 14, so it's like 9 years. I'm 23 now.
I would have guessed a lot older, honestly.
It's the beard.
It
fools everyone.
And so you're actually from New Zealand. Can you talk to us a bit about how you developed your sound and how you honed your sound being from somewhere across the world? We don't really know what the musical background is over there, you know?
It's interesting when people ask me about that, the QUIX sound, because when I was making the QUIX sound, I was just doing whatever I thought was cool. I didn't know it would be something. I was just doing it because I thought it was cool, and I wasn't planning on that being something. And then obviously as I like pushed for went into it a little bit more, and just, I don't know, it was a really big expression of how I felt about music and like my perception on how everything, you know, how I think it should sound. So I was just doing whatever I felt was kind of real and right in that moment, and that kind of actually just birthed into something bigger than myself, which was cool. And that kind of brought me into a place where I was kind of put on a shelf and known for, oh, that's that sound, like, and then you would see like comments of like, oh, that's that QUIX sound, which is like really humbling to like see people represent me in that way. So yeah, but the scene in New Zealand is growing. I'm not gonna say it's small because it's a lot bigger than when I started. And the people in New Zealand are like, it's like there's this real genuine spirit about music that like comes out of it. People going in and buying tickets to shows and supporting acts and supporting local acts. It's really special. I got to sell out my hometown there. It was like a 1,000 cap room that we went in, and I had one of the best moments of my life. I almost like cried at the end of my set because I was just like, I couldn't believe the amount of people showing that like local support for me, because like that night I was playing a venue that was like a prestigious venue that so many other big acts had played, and I like got to sell it out, and it was unreal. We actually sold it out a week in advance, which was like the amazing like feeling that we had leading up into it. So we had to like
So you actually started off as a drummer. Did you ever play in a band, and how do you feel like that carried over into your production style now?
The whole rhythmic feel of like being able to knowing drums and knowing how rhythms feel and work, and like what, and also like knowing the sound and the types of like drum sounds that and the samples that I should use is like super important. But like I started drums when I was like 9 years old, and
parents love that.
not really. So when I bought my first drum kit, my dad, like I had a certain amount of money that I had to come to the table with, and then my parents were going to cop the rest, and they were like, look, it was like a birthday and Christmas thing for me. So they was like, you bring this to the table and we'll do that. And then when we get to the drum store, they're like, okay, we're also going to cop it and buy you these drum pads to like soften everything. Like little pads you bought for each little tom, and snare and the kick and the cymbals had their own ones too. So then I would play drums and it would sound like I was just tapping on a table, and I hated doing it because it was like, oh, it just sounds so bad. But then, you know, it's what I had to do. But when they left, I was just like taking them all off, like playing as loud as I could. But yeah, I think like drums definitely helped me in my production now today. I wouldn't be the person that's the sound I am without it. And I play, as you said, I played in school bands. I played in my church band for like forever. So not only just playing with one band, it was a new band every Sunday.
New sounds and like new ideas and
new songs, new ways of doing things, new way of running a service. You know, like there was different. We were adapting every week to like something brand new. So I really was trained in a very like wide perspective of how to play in bands and work with teams, and through that, you know, like our church had so many opportunities for me to do stuff with DJing with that as well. So I would, you know, before we had our like meetings and stuff, I would be like jamming some house music, you know, or like some deep house or some like chill trap music, or
you guys like this?
Some people would just walk past us like, hey, QUIX, what's up? And everyone would know me as QUIX, because I've had the name QUIX.
Yeah, speaking of the name QUIX,
I've had the name QUIX for like since I was like 10 or something like that. Like I've always had it.
How did it develop?
My last name is Schnell, and in German that means fast or quick.
Oh, okay.
So QUIX comes out of that. And it was actually one of my best mates who like thought of that for me. And he's like, you should call yourself QUIX. And I said, that's the stupidest name ever.
Totally opposite spectrum.
And I was like, why would I? No, that's like the silliest name. I want to call myself like, you know, like, I don't know, like Wolfman.
We have Miss Olivia over here, which is your wife, and you actually guys work as a husband and wife team. What's it like being able to be on the road with your significant other?
It is awesome. It's so cool. It is like, I know there's quite a few other DJs out there that travel with their girlfriends, and that's really cool too. And it's such an emotional support, because touring isn't easy. Having my wife with me it's like a savior, honestly. Like I couldn't actually do any of what I do without her. Not only does she just help me in emotional support, she teams for me, she is a photographer, she runs all my social media, she is like a goddess of like all of that. She is like my absolute love. See, she's like smiling her face
drop
up.
All her pictures.
She is an absolute crazy person when it comes to like helping me do what I do.
Okay, so you actually just dropped an awesome collab with Matroda. I actually want to talk to you what it's like working with some other artists, and what are some of your favorite up-and-coming artists that you want to work with?
So Matroda is a bass house act, and he does a little bit of trap and dub here and there, which is cool, but he's predominantly like bass house. So I was when I got in the studio with him, it was really interesting to like grab our two styles and like work them in together because
You can hear them.
yeah, it was really evident when you could like listen to the track and be like, oh, I can hear my rhythms and how I think a track should sound, and like, oh, this is really sick. But what I did is like he brought a song to the table and I listened to it and I said, this idea right in the drop here is sick. Let's just use that and cut out everything else, and I'm gonna put some drums on that, and then we had like the basics of the song within like one day, which is crazy.
Who are some up-and-coming artists that you'd love to work with? I know you just said some KDL. I think that's how you say your name. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Look, it's early days, but like by the time I'm watching this now, I know your name off by heart. I love some of the new guys that are coming through, like Tynan. He is a crazy person. You know, I want to work with my friends as well. So like working with Kelly would be sick again to work with him. I don't know, like I could ask him in a second, be like, work on this. He'd be like, done.
Holly, if you're watching this, another one.
Yeah, let's do another one, man. Come on, Nate.
Another one.
And finally, we want to ask you about upcoming music and upcoming projects. I know you can't tell us everything in the works, but whatever you can tell us, please.
Look, I can't tell you everything, but I can just say that since the start of the year, I had a really full-on Storm tour. That's died down. Storm's gone. Storm's cleared. I'm doing like a really easy summer run of shows and tours on this tour, mainly festivals. And so I'm now in a position where I can work on music a lot more. And so what I'm doing is obviously I'm working on the bangers. I'm working on trying to get really cool sounds and whatnot, but I'm also working on a lot of cool, interesting, I don't want to say poppy songs, but like some very interesting sing-along, very cool, interesting kind of music for the whole wide perspective of, like, you know, the electronic community essentially. So I have a Diplo remix that's coming out. I just finished a Carmack remix that was this future bass type thing. It's going to be in a Kelly's Awakening mix, which is dropping like, I think it would have been dropped by now. But so have a listen to that. The Cheney boys, the Chainsmoker boys, we've been working together, and hopefully we get something out. So I don't know what's happening with it, but we have something in the works, so you'll probably be hearing that around on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, like here and there. So hopefully I throw up a few previews. Good.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking this time out, meeting up with us. It's hot. It's like 100 degrees, guys. We're melting. We're gonna go get ice cream, hopefully. All right, y'all. Thank you so much.
Peace out.